How does Jody Sue really feel about Don Wells? And what did she say exactly about Andy and his last time seeing Summer? That's at the very end. Pay attention.
Wait, there's one more. I feel like the ShamWow guy today. Um, but let me tell you, that whole Jose truck thing, that you missed because you're fucking lazy and so are your sources and whatever else you can't be bothered to watch videos. That whole Jose white truck Don thing. Well, also, Voldemort / Andy thinks that Don killed Jose, and that's his white truck, by the way. And he has for a while, since before Summer went missing. So, there's that. So, that monster believes your clients over there are very much capable. He also thinks that Dawn is a fucking child molester. He thinks that he has absolutely not just raped and molested Summer, but has done so to the boys as well. So, and we've thought so since before the Utah trip, because of things going on over there. That's when I started actually looking into Dawn. And obviously throughout the years, Andy was the one that pinpointed Dawn as the one that was responsible for our own peep and Tom incident, where my own daughter was the same age as Dawn's sisters, conveniently enough, and the only little girl inside the hollow that we now think, was actually the target and not myself, of Dawn's creeping and peeping behavior. Also another truck and dogs in that incident that I can prove, by the way. I didn't just recently pull out of my ass, but even then I and the other neighbors were talking about it and the weird shit about the dogs. And and then the other day, if you were paying attention to any streams, Mary and them were like, well, that's exactly how Dawn did us when we'd wake up, was, just siding at the windows and all this, especially as we got older. But, even for Andy being the type of, he has always maintained that Dawn's a fucking monster. But we started getting word that, the older ones were touching each other and inappropriately touching things, and then they turned it on Dawn right there with one of the last DCS cases, and that, because the one was angry as fuck at Daddy there. But that wasn't really true, because there was a little girl on the hill at the time. And we started thinking the fucking worst after another DCS case was open, and that's when I really started looking into Dawn. That's when I knew well before he ever come back from Utah that his oldest son was a fucking pedophile. And that chances were where one pedophile is, multiple fucking are, but then there's still no proof Dawn really is. And then his sisters come out after Summer's missing, and we know. You know why I was sitting on the bank all them nights, Keys? You want to know? It wasn't just because of the fucking one monster we thought, because I still thought, man, two things can exist at once. A stranger come in here and took that fucking baby girl. But also not just that, but here's Dawn living beside of us and is a fucking predator, because I never discounted his fucking sisters. So I had to live beside that shit every day, wondering if some motherfucker trapped inside Ben Hill without any real way to get to his usual crack habit down in Knoxville, his runoffs, and all these other things. Well, certain types of monsters that can't get one fix will try to get another. Well, guess whose little girl's the only one left in there? Mine. So, to me, he wasn't getting anywhere near mine. If it was a last hurrah, if he ended up killing himself so he didn't get fucking arrested, whatever else. But, there's part of why I sat on that bank too, why I walked them, why I sat outside my fucking cabin, why I didn't get sleep, and all them predators just, they did fine, whatever. That's why you continually hear me mention Dawn's little footsteps, the gravel at night, and why I was so worried about them, why I cataloged them. But I'll tell you, that monster believes your clients there are absolute monsters. However, it didn't keep him from commingling over there. And, but I bet he didn't give you the real reason he was over there, did he? Bet you don't have real proof of that like I do you, Keys? No. Because you were lied to about when the last times he was there was, and why.